Hello everyone and welcome to the third session of the Post Office Guide Part 1. In the previous class, we have discussed in detail about the method of postage, that is through stamps and through franking machine and also through prepayment of postage by cash. So we will discuss the further classes in this session. So in this class, I'm beginning with clause 13 which speaks about the spoiled or defaced stamps. So generally, the postage stamps which seems to be obliterated or defaced or torn or cut or any other damages found to be which make it imperfect or which have any letters or figures or design printed or anything which has been cut or which is not perfect will not be which cannot be used as postage, and it will also not be recognized in the payment of postage. So the stamp should be perfect in shape and size and everything. In all terms, it should be a perfect stamp. And also, the special registration envelopes. Now it is not currently being used. It is not in vogue, but the special registration envelopes provided by the post office only for the purpose of registration cannot be used for transmitting the unregistered postal articles. So the registration envelope, which has been exclusively dedicated for the use of registration, it can be used only for registration purpose and not for unregistered articles. And use of any such postage stamps, any which one is not imperfect or torn, it will be treated as an offense under Indian Penal Code. So this is very important. Exam questions may be like under which act the use of spoiled or defaced stamp will be treated as an offense. So the option may be like the option you have to correctly choose it as as per Indian Penal Code, it will be treated as an offense. Now the next clause is about the usage of fictitious stamps, that is false stamps. So the manufacture and use of any fictitious or false postage stamps will be treated as an offense punishable under, very, very important, Section 263A of Indian Penal Code. So this is very important in examination point. So under Section 263A of Indian Penal Code, the manufacturing and use of fictitious stamps will be treated as an offense. And this kind of reproduction of stamps will be allowed only in philatelic publication. That is a separate topic. We'll learn in detail about philately, but generally, the stamp should be perfect and no false stamp should be used, and it is a punishable offense under Section 263 of Indian Penal Code. Now we will move on to the next class. The next class, clause 15, is about packing of an article. So how an article should be packed. So every letter or any packet or parcel, it has to be stamped with date stamps. So generally, every article will be bearing 2 date stamps. One date stamp will be impressed in the office of posting and one at the office of delivery. So generally, all the articles which has been dealt in the post office, it will be subject to great deal of pressure and friction during transmission. So the articles, therefore, which is likely to suffer from such kind of stamping and pressure and friction, those should be packed in those strong covers. So in order to bear all those stamping pressure and all the friction, the article should be packed in strong covers. So the post office also cannot take any special precautionary measures to save for the safety and security of any fragile articles. So any articles which seems to be fragile, which can be easily broken, it should not be transmitted through postal department, and the postal department is not it cannot take any responsibility for such safety of the fragile articles. So every letter, packet and parcel should be closed in such a manner that it should not give rise to sharp edges. So it should be properly packed. All the corners and edges should be properly sealed. So this is how a general packing should be. So generally in this clause, the main points are, so the article should be packed in strong covers, and the post office cannot take any responsibility for the safety of any fragile articles, and the parcel should not give rise to any sharp edges, and it should be properly packed. So now moving on to the next clause, clause number 16. So which speaks about the sealing process. So generally, sealing wax should not be used for any articles unless and unless it is necessary. So it has been advised not to use any kind of sealing wax for the seals outside any kind of unregistered articles or packets, except when seals are made absolutely necessary. So, for example, in case for insured articles, these kind of seals should be definitely made. So, in other terms, the usage of sealing wax may be avoided. So, no need to use any kind of sealing wax for any other unregistered letters or packets or any parcels. So, this is all about the method of sealing. So, moving on to the next clause, clause number 17, which is about how to post coins and any valuables, etc. So generally, the any valuable things like coins, bullions, precious stones, jewelries, and any articles made of gold or silver, any currencies or banknotes, it can be sent by inland post only when it is insured. So very, very important. So coins and these kinds of precious metals and articles, it can be transmitted in India Post only when it is insured. So insurance is compulsory while sending these kind of articles. And now coming on to the limits. So the maximum insurance amount for sending currency notes is about 20,000. So the maximum insurance amount. So for how much amount it can be insured? So currency notes can be insured up to a maximum of rupees 20,000. And in respect of jewelries and precious item articles made of gold or silver or anything, so it can be insured up to a maximum of rupees 1 lakh. This is very important. So questions may be like, so for how much maximum amount a coins or currency can be insured? So the answer should be 20,000. And for how much maximum amount jewelries made of gold or jewelries can be insured? So the answer must be 1 lakh rupees. So the main point in this clause is these kind of precious things should definitely be insured, and the limits for currency notes is 20,000, and that of jewelries and precious item articles is about rupees 1 lakh. So now clause number 18. So about letterbox, usage of letterboxes. Any letters or postcards or inland cards or packets, it may be posted in the letterbox either in the post office or mail office, provided that the postage due amount, the due postage, and if necessary, if it is if there is any late fee, they are fully prepaid. I repeat, so all kinds of letters and articles can be posted in letterbox either in post office or in the mail office. Mail office means the boxes which has been in the RMS section. So provided that all the postage due and if late fee, if any, are fully prepaid. So this is the thing of about clause number 18. Now, moving on to the next clause. Now going to the clause number 19. Posting in special letterboxes. So there are some letterboxes which is intended only to post some kind of articles. So for example, letterboxes which has been marked as for letters only. Those letterboxes should be used for posting only for sending letters and postcards. So no other book packets or any kind of article should not be posted in that. So the letterboxes intended only for posting letters. In that letterboxes, only letters and postcards should be posted. And also, similarly, there are some kind of special letterboxes for posting airmail articles and QMS. QMS will learn in detail later on in the Post Office Guide Part 1, which is nothing but quick mail service. So the letterboxes marked only for this quick mail service, only such kind of articles should be posted in that QMS letterboxes. And other articles, if any posted in such special letterboxes, they are definitely liable to detention. So they will be retained and they will be transmitted in some other due course. So any other articles other than intended for this special type letterboxes, they will be liable for detention. And generally QMS is nothing but it is a quick mail service. So this quick mail service is introduced to make the unregistered article to transmit even more faster. So these kind of letters which bears pin code incomplete, they will be transmitted from one important cities to one another important city very quick, very faster. That is why the name it is called quick mail service. So QMS articles should be a full pin code. So this is the main condition for QMS. So QMS articles should bear the full pin code below the name of post town of destination. So the idea of this clause is that whenever there is some special letterboxes, only those articles which are eligible to post in that letterbox should only be posted, and any other articles which has been posted other than that will be liable for detention. They will be detained and they will be sent in due course. So coming on to the clause 20. So clause 20 speaks about how to post the large articles and other letters which cannot be posted in the letterbox due to owing to their size. So because of their size, if any article could not be posted in the letterboxes because of their size, those kind of articles may be received in hand at the window of the mail van or the post office, provided that the postage due and any late fee, if any, are fully prepaid. The same thing. So because of their size, if any articles could not be posted in the letterbox, they can hand over the same in the counter. That is what mentioned in this clause. So the next clause speaks about the desirability of posting early. So this in this clause, generally it is a request to the public. So generally the public are being advised to post their mails as and when they are ready. So the public need not wait until the last clearance. So whenever their article gets ready, so they can come and readily straight away post it in the letterboxes. So this is about the clause number 22. The next one, clause 23, speaks about the manner of affixing postage stamps. How a postage stamp should be affixed in a letter. So usually the stamps will be affixed to the right hand top corner of the address side. So generally the letter can be divided into 4 portions. There is 4 rectangles. So the upper right corner of any envelope or any article is specially it can be used for to affix postage stamps. So generally the stamp should be affixed to the right hand top corner of the address side. So moving on to the next clause, clause number 24, which speaks about the non-postal stamps, charity stamps, labels, seals, etc. So any kind of labels or stamps or seals or any other mark which are not postage but they appear to be postage stamp should not be attached and impressed. So any kind of articles or charity stamps are mainly used. Those stamps will be given in order to raise funds. Those kind of stamps we call it as charity stamps. So that kind of charity stamps or anything labels or seals, they actually they are not postage stamps. But if they appear to be postage stamps, those kind of stamps should not be attached or impressed. So any kind of even impressions which are likely to be mistaken for impressions of franking impression, they also must not be made on the address side. So any impressions which can be suddenly recognized as a frank impression, those kind of impressions should also not to be made on the address side of the letter. So this is all about this clause number 24. So the next thing, clause number 25, usage of minimum number of postage stamps. So in this clause, it has been advised to the public to use minimum number of stamps. So because a large number of low value stamps will consume unnecessary space in the article. For example, say an article, a postage of rupees 50 rupees has to be paid as postage to that article. So instead of affixing 10 number of 5 rupees postage stamps, instead we can paste a 5 number of 10 rupees stamps or 2 number of 20 plus 10. So in those manner, it has been advised to use only minimum number of stamps, since many number of large volume of stamps will take up unnecessary steps and make the article very clumsy. So this has been mentioned in the clause 25. So the next very important clause, this speaks about the method of addressing, how an addressing has to be made in an article. So generally, the address being mentioned in the article should be a complete and a definite one, and it should be enough to ensure that easy transmission and also with delivery without any elaborate inquiry. So it should be a self-explanatory one. Every and each detail and landmark should everything be in that addressing. So this is the way for complete. So the address must be a complete one and also a definite one. So always, as I told earlier, so the address should be, the envelope can be divided into 4 sections, and address should be written on the lower half towards the right hand side. That is lower, that is the right hand lower bottom. Though in that portion, the letter has to be written. So the address should be written in the lower half towards the right hand side of the front of the article, leaving a clear margin of at least 3 centimeters at the top for the use of postage stamps. So in the right hand side, in the lower side, address has to be mentioned, and at least a 3 centimeter should be left for affixing postage stamp at the upper side of the thing. And very important one, the post town should be noted in block letters. So to which post town you are addressing, so the post town should be noted in block letters, and it should also be underlined. And the pin code of the post town should be noted below that one. So the post town should be noted, and the same should also be underlined. So it is also desirable to note the sender address in the lower left-hand corner of the address side. So the right-hand lower corner is for writing addressee name, and the left-hand, the left lower corner is for writing the sender's address. So the sender's address may be right on the lower left-hand corner. And any kinds of concessional rates of postage, like book post or blind literature packets, those should be clearly mentioned on the top of the address side of the article. So the articles for which concessional rates of postage or any free postage being claimed, because for blind literature packet there is no postage, right? So for those articles, the type of article should be clearly mentioned on the top of the address side. And this is one example of how an address should be a complete and a definite one. So one who wants to address any address in the urban area, so those people should mention first beginning the name of the addressee, and then their profession, and the number and name of the house, street, road, etc., and name of locality, any locality, post box number if there is any, name of the post town written in block letters and underlined, and a pin code below that, and name of district and state. So if it is a rural area, while addressing to a rural area, so one must keep in mind to write the name of addressee. Very importantly, the father or husband's name, because there may be many addressees in the same name in rural side, and then profession if any, and the number of house if any, along with the name of street, and very importantly the name of village, the name of post office of delivery, and the pin code, name of taluk. If pin code is written, taluk is not necessary, and name of district and state. And if pin code is not written, writing taluk and district name is necessary in order to for complete identification and for easy delivery. So in this way, address has to be elaborated, complete, and it should be a definite one. So coming to the next, in case of articles addressed to foreign countries, very important, the address should be written in Roman letters and in Arabic figures for easy recognition. So if any article is being addressed to foreign countries, the address should be written in Roman letters and in Arabic figures. So this is particular. It is particularly important to note, as I told earlier, to note the district name in cases where there is more than one post town bearing the same name, and if pin code is noted. If pin code is noted, then there is no need for any elaborate detailing of taluk and district name. And where there is pin code is not being noted, so the complete name of the taluk and the name of post town and the district name has to be clearly mentioned. And also, it is desirable to note the sender address in the lower left-hand corner of the address side. So these are some of the few examples of correct and complete addresses. Because see, you can see the name of addressee has been written, their profession, and then the complete address with a pin code. So you can see in the second example, so the name of addressee, wife of so and so, so the village name, and also the district name with the complete pin code. So, so in like this, the address should be a complete one. So whenever we want to, one thing, we want to address any article to any government, any government officials or officer like prime minister or anybody else. So in those kinds, we can even address them to their camp, because those kind of higher officials will also be on tour. So it is also necessary to mention their camp address, so that the letter will reach their camp and it will be a useful one. So in this way, the letter should be a definite and a complete one. So the next clause is about the mails for defense services personnel serving in the army and air force. So whenever we want to write any letter, address any letter, so working in defense service, the particulars like the employee number, if any, the rank, the name, and the unit number should be clearly mentioned. So those kind of mail should be addressed only to the 56 or the 99 APO, the army post office, without the addition of any post town. So without adding any post town, the articles which has been addressed to the defense employees, they should be addressed either to 56 army post office or the 99 army post office. So this is about, so the number rank should be clearly mentioned, and it also should be mentioned addressed to either to 56 APO or to the 99 APO. Next one is about the mails for Navy personnel serving in INS ships. So the mails intended for Navy personnel or board or any INS ships, they should be addressed for care of the Fleet Mail Service, Bombay. So remember, whenever we want to address any article to the Navy personnel, the address should be care of the Fleet Mail Service, Bombay. And then how and the articles bearing indefinite address will be dealt. So when any article without complete or definite address, so those kind of articles will not be delivered, and it will be written either to the sender or to RLO as the case. So no article will be delivered unless it bears a complete and a definite address. So articles addressed in a general way, or initials, names, without any the articles in which has been addressed in a general way, or to initial names without any surname or any fictitious or false names or any conventional marks. So articles of that kind will not be delivered, and as I told you, they will be returned to either to the sender or RLO. And the next one, parcels or other articles or money order will not be accepted unless they are definitely addressed to a particular person or a firm. So in the office, in the delivery office of delivery, if it is found that there is no such letterbox in the name of the addressee, or the addressee has been ceased to be a renter of a postbox. So the postbox facility, one can take it for rent, when we are going to discuss the same in detail in the next class, and those kind of article will be returned to the sender. So if the delivery office found that there is no such letterbox, or the renter has been seized, or the rent period is over, then those kind of article will be returned to sender. So articles without a definite and a complete address will not be delivered, and any articles addressed in a general way without any surname or any false names or any conventional marks will also not be delivered. And then the next one is about the additional of sender's address. Each and every article should bear at the lower bottom left hand corner of the article the name and address of the sender, including PIN code, in order to enable the post office to return back the office in case of non-delivery. So if the article is not being delivered to the addressee, the same must be enabled to be delivered back to the sender. So for that purpose, so the mentioning of sender's address in the lower left-hand corner is being made compulsory. And if any article found with improper sender's address, or absence of any sender's address, those articles will be returned to RLO, the returned letter office. So they will be sent to RLO. So this is about sender. So addition of sender's address. So the next clause is about intimation of address to correspondents abroad. So the public are also advised. So while furnishing their address to correspondents any abroad, they should mention the name of state in India in which they reside. So rather than simply mentioning the sender's address, it is also advised to mention the name of the state in India in which they reside while sending any correspondence or any articles to abroad. So in this clause, we have discussed in a detail about the method of addressing and how to use a letterbox and what kind of the things which has to be taken note of while sending articles. So with this, I'm ending this session. So we'll see the rest of the clauses in the next upcoming sessions. So please do subscribe the channel for further more updates. Thank you all. Thank you so much.